North County Talk, we are live. Big delay. Big delay to that start of that show. People saying, come on, Tom, press the on switch. I had a knock at the door from a delivery driver. So, you know what? It's if you miss those deliveries and some of them won't reroute, I can't be missing deliveries for the show, especially when they're as important as this. It was actually the contract signed of my Traore. Made sure I got that in. So, I've technically accepted the offer. How are we, George?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yes, I'm excited. I'm very, very excited for the rest of the season. We've obviously spoken about it multiple times throughout the season, but I do genuinely think, and we're going to get Dave in very shortly, who's representing Morecambe, and I said it when I had a chat to Dave earlier in the week, and it's already gone out. So if you listen to it, thank you. I genuinely think we finished top three. I genuinely do. Multiple reasons for that, but and then I'll go into those later in the show. We are going to chat about that deadline day transfer that none of us thought we were going to get, or none of us thought we were going to get a striker in. Some thought it'd be Maka, some thought it wouldn't. We've ended up with Traore. Very interesting. We'll chat about Morecambe. We'll chat about the win against Gillingham, a place where I thought we'll go and get a 1-1 draw, and then we'll answer a lot of your questions as well. Plenty of you are here with us this evening as normal. We've got Martin, who is a channel member, who has joined us. We've obviously got the usuals. We've got Ewan, we've got Royston, Dale, Richard, Milkman Hero, who has already predicted a 2-2. So very, very interesting. Hartley Hair says, have I dyed my hair? No, I have not dyed my hair. Not grey just yet. Maybe the end of the season will change that, but I'm not grey just yet. I've got Chris Helen, who is a channel member as well. John, Mickey, also channel member, Len, Stephen. So thank you for joining us. Get your questions in as well. As always, we are on Spotify, so drop us a 5-star review, and please do use the code Pavis Perspective to help out and go and visit our channel sponsor, which is Better Bytes. Refurbished computers or computer repairs, as always. We give them a massive shout out. George,
Tom,
are we finishing top three?
It's looking good, isn't it? It's definitely looking good. I think, look, the ball's in our court, really, isn't it? I think, if you look at the numbers and the points that the sort of top three from the last sort of maybe like 5 seasons have got, 80 points, you're automatic, aren't you?
Pretty much.
So by that standard, then we need another 10 wins from our final 18 games, which is what it's averaging. What? Well, it's not averaging anything, is it really? 10 wins in 18. But if you average, 2 points from our last 18 games, we'll be well up there, won't we? So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and it's interesting to see Walsall as well. Their form's dipped a little bit, hasn't it? It's a long way to make up, isn't it? But never say never. I don't want to get carried away because I know we've just had a little bit of a good run, and we're still in that top three. We've made some decent signings, but we've just got to back it up now. There's a lot of positivity around Notts. Maynard seems to be happy with the squad. So yeah, it's all looking good. My only question mark would be, obviously losing the coaching staff that he has. Two big personalities. They're obviously doing a lot of work. So obviously Maynard now sort of had to pick up the slack for 2 other people. So key areas could be being missed. But that for me is the only real niggle. I think the squad's looking good. We're in a really, really good position, and I think it's a really, really good opportunity as well for Notts to get promoted this season.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to chat about the Gillingham win, which I think was a fantastic victory, and we should have been out of sight by half-time. That unbelievable Didsy goal very shortly. A couple of things before we get Dave on then. First of all, Ian has said first time here. So Ian, amazing to have you on. 150, nearly 160 of you with us. So Ian, if you're not already subscribed, please do drop a subscription. And look at that at the bottom there. I don't think you're going to get this. Player anagram for tonight. It's there at the bottom of the screen. Chain smacked. It's a tricky one. Even George didn't know this, do you, George?
No.
Your percentage of getting the player anagrams right, I've just been trying to work it out, is 0%.
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
And Callum says, smash the likes, need the thumbs up. Right, we're going to chat to Dave. Always great having Dave on. On paper, I mean, surely we go and get this win on paper. I'm sure Dave is going to tell us why it won't be that easy. It'll be interesting. Dave, how are we?
Good evening, Tom. Evening, George. How you doing, gents?
Yeah, great to have you on again. You obviously heard us chatting. We're feeling now that we're getting a bit of momentum behind us. Top 3 is genuinely a realistic possibility with 18 games. George reckons 10 wins. And in the last 10 years, I think only one side's missed out with 80 points. Is one of those 10 wins it's going to be an easy one against Morecambe, who are down there?
I wouldn't say that, Tom, to be honest. I think you look at the table and, of course, you're on a decent run. We've not won back-to-back games all season. We get one great win like we did against Fleetwood last Saturday. Brilliant 4-2 win, probably our best win of the season, actually. And then we can't back it up. Went to Newport on Tuesday. Absolutely hammered them. We played them off the park and lost 2-1. We can't get the second straight win. And if we'd have won on Tuesday, we'd have been out of the relegation zone. So it would have been coming to you on Saturday with loads of momentum. We've still got a bit of momentum, bit of positivity. We've done all right in the January transfer window, and we eventually managed to get a few players through the door and a couple of strikers, which we just desperately needed. But I think you can look at our lead position and think one thing, but the reality is we've played pretty well in all of our games this season. Where our problem is as simple as this. We've lost 11 games, 1-0. And if you just turn 2 or 3 of those into a win and another couple into a draw, suddenly would be 4 or 5 points away from the relegation zone. It'd be looking at a whole different picture. So we know it's not going to be easy on Saturday. We know how difficult it is to come to Meadow Lane with the crowd and the way you play. Hopefully not going to blow us away like it did last season. I think you were 4-0 up after about 8 minutes last season, wouldn't you? Something ridiculous. But I think it's going to be a different game on Saturday. But underestimate us at your peril is all I would say.
I'll tell you who likes to sit on a 1-0 lead at home. Notts. I think we beat Harrogate 1-0. We beat Wimbledon 1-0. Very shaky was it against Carlisle, George? 1-0, I think, just the other day. So, I mean, yeah, but it's never easy at 1-0. It must give you a bit of heart, though, Dave. I know you said you didn't get that second win in the week against Newport, but you're saying you absolutely battered them. That's got to give you some heart because, I mean, sustainability-wise, the second win surely has to come. I mean, it's not like you are winning a game and then getting hammered yourselves.
There's only been, of all our defeats in the league this season, I'd say there's probably only twice where we've been comprehensively beaten. Grimsby, bizarrely, and we went away to AFC Wimbledon and they just played us off the park, quite honestly. It was 3-0. Could have been a lot more. Apart from that, all the games we've been well in, but it's not just the 1-0 defeats, it's the games where we've conceded late goals, and hopefully we've gone out of that habit now. It's conceding goals in the last 10, 12 minutes of games that have cost us points, whether that's a draw and we've gone on to lose, or against yourselves, for example, we were obviously leading the game and you pegged it back. And then, I mean, we won't talk about the stoppage time goal. It was, Jacob Bedeau himself told me after the game that our effort in stoppage time was 2 feet over the line. So there you go. But that'd have been another 2 points straight off the back, wouldn't it, instead of the draw. But the fact that we held you to a draw earlier in the season, I think gives us a lot of heart, and there's loads of positivity in the camp, loads of positivity. We've slightly changed the way that we play due to the new players who we've bought in. So hopefully we can give you a game.
And that striker you brought in, Andy Dallas, Notts fans know him very, very well, Solihull, and he's always done pretty well against. So George, what are your thoughts on Dallas? He is dangerous against Notts always, isn't he?
Yeah, he always seems to pop up against us, doesn't he? There was a time where I'd have liked to see him at Notts, to be honest with you. But he's definitely got a sting in his tail, hasn't he?
Definitely. I know it's a very, very limited time, Dave, but how's he started?
He was brilliant on his debut against Fleetwood, scored 2 goals, a poacher's fox in the box finish, and one that he just lashed it into the bottom corner from 25 yards out. Don't let him get onto his left foot because he'll just have a pop at goal, and he's got a rocket of a left foot. Although he said after the game that's his weaker foot. So I don't know, draw your own conclusion there. But 2 great finishes. He should have had a couple on Tuesday. But Nick Townsend, the Newport keeper, had the absolute game of his life on Tuesday night, picking them out of all sorts of top corners and everywhere, really. So he's done really well. We are actually relying on a couple of Barrow rejects to score the goals to keep us up, because we've got Andy Dallas, And we've recently, last couple of days, got Jed Garner back on loan. He was on loan last season. He's surplus to requirements at Barrow. So I'm not sure he will start on Saturday because he's not played much football in the last couple of months, but he'll definitely be in the squad. So hopefully a couple of Barrow rejects can score the goals. But Andy Dallas has got quality all over him, and Jed Garner as well. Hopefully he can start finding his shooting boots, because that's the one thing that we've been missing all season. We create loads of chances. You'll probably see that on Saturday. We create the chances. It's putting them in the back of the net. And as Walsall, it's a big about their slight blip at the moment. It's no coincidence that they've started losing games since they lost Nathan Lowe back to Stoke. It shows what happens when you've got somebody who can put the ball in the back. And as you found out with Macaulay Langstaff, obviously, when you came up from the National League, you get a goal scorer, you're halfway there, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's massive boost to anyone who can get goal scoring. Your gut feeling, Dave, are you going to stay up?
I'm a lot more positive about staying up than I was a few weeks ago. There was quite a bit of negativity, because you may have seen this in the press, well documented. Obviously, our ownership issues are very, very well documented. I won't bore your listeners and your viewers with our long and depressing history of our current owner. Suffice to say, we weren't allowed to sign any players in the January transfer window for a period of about a week and a half. And Andy Dallas was one of those players. We should have had him 3 games previously. He was training with the club, and he was even on the pitch warming up with the first team squad. And well, that's unusual. Why he's not playing? And it came to pass that the EFL had blocked us registering players because of certain financial paperwork and admin issues that hadn't been resolved. They got fixed, and luckily he was still available, and we managed to get him. So from a couple of weeks ago, when it looked like we couldn't sign anybody and we didn't have any firepower in the squad, and therefore we weren't going to score any goals or enough goals to stay up, to now, I wouldn't say I'm confident we're going to be an EFL club next season. I think of all the teams around us, Carlisle are just an absolute, well, they're a bin fire at the moment, aren't they? I don't know how Mark Hughes is going to do. I think he's going to split opinion. I think they've done the right thing, Carlisle, by getting an experienced manager through the door. Whether he's the right one, we'll wait and see, but they've got loads of work to do. And then Tranmere Rovers are just in absolute free fall. Their chairman said that Nigel Adkins, their manager, is going absolutely nowhere. I'm not sure that's quite the right call either. You got Harrogate, Gillingham, Barrett. There's a number of clubs in the mix, really, Newport as well, who aren't safe from trouble yet. So we can haul teams in, and we've got to play everybody around us as well between now and the end of the season. So I wouldn't say it's a dead cert by any stretch, but I think of the teams around us at the bottom, we've probably got the best chance, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, Chris here says at least there's only one relegation place to contend with after Mark Hughes appointed at Carlisle. It'll be interesting because we will be able to make a comparison within the space of about 5 games. Because we just played Carlisle, we're playing yourselves on Saturday, and in a few games' time at home we played Tranmere. So 3 of the teams down there at home. I mean, myself and George had a match day vlog out. We kind of rated Carlisle. We thought they were pretty good, but that's because we allowed them to get back into the game. So it'll be interesting to see a comparison. I mean, on the face of it, I'm expecting, if we're going to wallop one of the teams, I'm expecting it to be Tranmere. But you never know. Football never ends up like that. I won't go on about this too much, but I kind of answered or brought it into a question on your show earlier in the week. Morecambe fans, not necessarily yourself, Dave, but Morecambe fans warned us about Dan Crowley, especially when he leaves clubs. Are you surprised that he's kind of upset quite a few Notts fans since going, and that we're not actually that bothered we're losing a very good player?
I think your feelings, gents, are exactly our feelings when Dan Crowley left. We were, on one hand, gutted because he was far too good for us from the very first moment he stepped on the pitch. You could see he was a cut above League 2 level, and obviously he's done brilliant for you with lots of goals and assists. But on the other hand, you think, well, actually, do you know what? Not particularly like you very much, mate, actually, and I think we share that opinion. We were on one hand gutted to lose him, but at the same time, well, that's the kind of guy he is. I think you look at his career record; he does flit about from club to club, and for whatever reason, doesn't seem to either stay for very long or doesn't seem to be very liked at any of the previous clubs he's been to, really. So I think you're probably better off without him, to be honest. I mean, we're glad he's not playing against us like tomorrow on Saturday, but. Yeah, you probably do without him, I would say.
And that's our question for today, isn't it, George? On the poll, is Charlie Whittaker a good enough replacement? But not the same feeling I don't think amongst Morecambe fans, and I know we briefly spoke about it at the start of the season, but his game's developed for Jacob Bedeau.
Yeah, I told you in the summer, didn't I, Tom, that you've got an absolute gem there. One of the best in League Two for me. We were, of all the players that we had to let go in the summer, because Jacob wasn't released. He was just, we knew, we didn't offer him a contract because we knew he wasn't going to sign it, basically. He was obviously going to move on to bigger and better things. And obviously our financial situation in the summer meant we couldn't really offer any deals to anybody anyway. And not much has changed in that regard. You've got a great player there. And I think between Jacob and Matty Platt, as you know, you've got, I know you play three at the back, of course, but with him and Matty Platt, you've got two of the best in the division. You've got two contrasting styles of player. And I think the fact that he's got Matty Platt alongside him allows Jacob to play his game. You've probably seen hundreds of times how he likes to drive the ball out from the back, charging down the left side. And he's a proper ball playing defender. The fact he's left footed as well gives you extra balance on that side as well. So long may he reign, really. I'm absolutely delighted that he's doing well for you. Hopefully he's going to have the one mistake all season is going to be on Saturday against us for the winning goal. You never know.
Hopefully not, but he's definitely above a League League Two standard player. Sorry, I mean even here, Chris has said Bedeau my player of the season. I mean it's a bold shout when we've got 37-year-old David McGoldrick playing like he is, Jatta, Matty Platt. I mean to even be him with a question of that, he has been phenomenal. Dave, it's always great to have you on. I'm going to ask before we let you go to give us a score prediction for the game on Saturday.
I would absolutely take a draw right this very moment. We've found our shooting boots. Well, we certainly found our creating good chances boots, shall we say, which is the one thing that's been lacking all season. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
So we'll be disappointed on our part, but also, at the end of the season, a point could do wonders for both of us, couldn't it? So
I think the thing about it, Tom, is our result against you on Saturday won't define our season because you're almost certainly going up automatically, I would say. So playing we've got Walsall in a few weeks' time, who are romping to the title. If we lose to you on Saturday and lose to Walsall, that doesn't define it. It helps if we don't lose, obviously, but that's not going to define our season. We've still got to play Carlisle and Tranmere and Gillingham and Barrow again and Harrogate and all the teams around us at the bottom end. Those are the games that are going to decide whether we stay up or not. And we'll have a great day out on Saturday. We always have a nice time at Meadow Lane. I'm not sure we're going to bring a huge amount of supporters. Our away following seems to have tailed off a little bit in the last few weeks for one or two very obvious reasons. But we'll certainly be loud, certainly be proud, and we'll enjoy the day. And hopefully we can come away with at least a point.
Yeah, Dave, I genuinely hope Morecambe stay up. Really do. So get those 3 points the following week. So. We'll hopefully take them off. Who have you got the following week?
We've got 3 home games coming up, including Accrington next Saturday. Then got Walsall coming, got Doncaster. So we've got some tricky games, but we've got lots of home games coming up. So hopefully we can do that. Although that said, we've only won at home twice all season. We're much better away than we are at home statistically, by the way. So
if you can take points off Walsall and especially Doncaster, that would be absolutely incredible for us.
If you could hammer Tranmere for us as well the next week, that'd be great.
Deal. We'll do
okay.
that. Dave, cheers for coming on, but cheers for having me on your show earlier in the week as well.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome, guys. All the best for the season. So we always have a very warm welcome at Meadow Lane. The stewards and the staff always very friendly. I'll leave you with this little anecdote. It's a boring one, but it's the only one I've got really. When we came to you last season, we arrive early as press, and you get in the stadium before anybody else. And I was doing a little video on my social media. Here I am. Here's this evening's office, blah blah blah, and I fell down a flight of stairs in the main stand, and obviously the big stand at Meadow Lane's quite high, isn't it? It's the steps are quite steep, and I went tumbling down all the way to the bottom. So I spent about half an hour on the physio's treatment table in your home dressing room, while one of the medical staff at Notts County tended to what they thought might have been a ruptured Achilles. It turned out that it was not, thankfully. So that was my last memory of coming to Meadow Lane, having to sort of embarrassingly sort of hobble into your home dressing room and get some treatment.
Wow, let's hope it's not that bad on Saturday. Cheers, Dave. Great to have you on.
Gents, all the best rest of the season. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. A couple of people asking about the Chesterfield game hasn't kicked off. John Fleck has been taken ill during the war, been taken to hospital. Right. Goodness me. So pretty serious then. I'm going to put it out there right now. Straight away, Dave's in my top 3 guests that we have on here.
Yeah,
top
good.
3. I mean, we've had some fantastic guests. Even up here, look, Ewan, top guest, has even put that in the chat, top guest. So it's always great to have him on. Always is great. So we've spoken about will we finish top 3. We both think there's a massive, massive chance now. But my question mark last Thursday is, what position are we going to be in after the transfer window closes? Will we have Jata? Will we bring anyone else in? I think, what day was it that we signed Traore? Was it last Thursday after the show? Or am I dreaming that?
No. It was on deadline day, wasn't it?
It was
officially.
I know why I was thinking that was. It's because I was doing the monthly meetup, so I was live when it started to break.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I don't know anything about him, and I'm going to be honest. The Notts fans replying to tweets saying "fantastic signing." You can't know that. You cannot know that. I mean, just because we've signed, I mean, I don't know if it's going to be a Jota replacement. It's hard to say, but you look at in terms of height, both tall players, both come from Scandinavia. It looks like we're trying to go down the same route, the same model.
Yeah.
But if we go up, I don't think Jota does go anyway.
No, I think you're probably right, to be honest with you. The team that were in for in Plymouth, obviously they lost their striker, didn't they? Well, they sold their striker for whatever it was. They seemed fairly keen. I think they did submit an official offer, didn't they? But I think we declined that. But if you're looking at the likes of Plymouth, that they're going to be in League One next season.
Yeah. Well, they are. We could literally be in the same league as them.
Exactly. On a big club, obviously decent foundations if they've just gone up to the champion. Well, if they've been in the championship. But it sort of feels like Notts are on like a steady upward trajectory, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Where there's obviously some instabilities at Plymouth. I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I think if Notts get promoted, it'd be a strange move, I think, to go to Plymouth other than huge money. Yeah,
I agree. Chris says we've ended the window stronger than we started it, so that's a success. Have we ended it stronger? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, just.
I think just,
yeah. I mean, Dave kind of summed it up there. Genuinely, we were told that when Crowley eventually leaves, it's going to be. I mean, I was kind of told it will be under some kind of circumstance that isn't going to, is going to end in a bit of a not very nice way. And absolutely right. So that takes us to our poll question.
Do you know what, right? Do you know, sticking on the Crowley situation, are you that, like, do you actually feel that hurt that he left? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think he actually really did anything wrong?
No, I'm not hurt he left.
Do you know what I mean? Do you know there seems to be like this big thing about being a bit sour? I don't think it was that sour, was it? He just left for another League Two club, which is just, if you want to do that.
I think it's the whispers of what happened behind the scenes, if I'm honest, that kind of makes me. And look, I don't know anything. We weren't in the changing room on the training pitch or in team meetings.
Dave was after his fall.
True, he was on the treatment table. Imagine that, and then you go lose 5. Then you go lose 5-0.
Falling down the steps in the Pavis, I can only imagine. Like, he was actually lucky. That's all he did.
Yeah. But I mean, that could have been really, really nasty. To be fair,
yeah.
That's probably why they installed the handrails in there, not because people were asking. Probably because they didn't want to get sued.
You know what's funny? I've never actually seen anyone fall down at the steps in the Pavis.
You literally, you have. We're gonna have to bring that story out.
No, it's fine. We don't need to.
We'll let people guess which one of us fell down the steps, or was it one of us? No. What I do find, and going back to that, when he left, if you actually go back and watch my video, it's an instant reaction. So they can age quite quickly, but it's also, we want to get them out and we want to give our opinions right then. It's like when we do sometimes like a player rating and people say we should have waited a couple of days to do player ratings. What's the point? Like, I want the raw emotion of the video to go out. So I sat there and I said, can't blame him. You know, you're in League Two, you're not in the Premier League, you can't, you know, save all your money, etc., etc. But then he came out and said, and like people are saying here in the chat, he's saying Boxing Day felt like an audition. That is like, just leave and have the fan base kind of be like, well, why has he gone to MK? Don't then come out and say it was an audition. You felt awkward because, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a funny one because I was never really like, if a player doesn't want to play for Notts, I'm fairly happy for them to leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'd be absolutely gutted if it was someone like Jones, obviously. But obviously for Crowley, I mean, if his attitude was like that, and we don't, obviously, I say we're not privy to that information, so we don't really know. I mean, other than the cupping his ear to the Corp, I can't really see what much he's done wrong for the fans. You know what I mean? And I get that statement that he said with MK, but players say things like that when they sign for new clubs. Do you know what I mean? I'm not defending him either. I'm just saying, from my perspective, I'm not really that. I'm honestly not that bothered. I don't feel that bitter about him leaving. Do you know what I mean?
No, I agree, mate. I agree. And he's gone now, isn't it? But
yeah,
we've got a very limited like insight into Charlie Whittaker. But did you manage to watch the Gillingham game?
Yeah, it looked really good. Really, there was like sprinkles of like the way he was playing. It sort of reminded me a bit like Carl Roberts when he started for us, you know.
Really?
Sprinkles.
Second half, there's a couple of turns in there that were absolutely outstanding. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to say it. Like Dan Crowley would turn and he wouldn't even leave the spot he was in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would barely leave that spot. He did that to a couple of players, and actually,
Dan Crowley would turn and then turn and then turn
and then turn
and then turn.
Yeah, he would, and then he'd turn again, and then he'd do it again a few more times. But I mean, I think he could be a replacement. Dale says 13 points out of 15 when Crowley's not in the team. I mean,
say no more.
I mean, there you go. I mean, MK are way behind us. I don't want to tempt fate that MK are going to catch us up, because that's what happens, isn't it? You say something, then you end up catching us up, and we look silly. But I've got to say, you get the absolute best out of Matty Palmer without Dan Crowley in your squad. So, you know, build going forward. The win against Gillingham. People have already said it in the chat, and you, to be fair, George, you said it to me about 2 months ago. You said get David McGoldrick a new contract, and we even mentioned it last week. That goal is, and I know, no, I don't even think it's controversial. It's not. It's definitely in with a shout, even though the Abbott goals have been outstanding. It's definitely in with a shout of goal of the season.
Yeah, so, do you know what it is for me? It's that first touch. Do you know just that first touch and then the second touch he scored from it? Like the first touch, it's like it's rebounded off a defender and he's collected it and he's took a heavy touch on purpose, which has then took it back past the defender and it's just left him in the perfect position to just dink it over the keeper. I think it's such a class goal for McGoldrick. And look, I mean, from my perspective, I would love to see him another year at Notts. From McGoldrick's perspective, does he want to play another year of football? If we get promoted, does he want to leave it on a high and sort of feel like his work's done in football? Who knows? But the way he's playing at the minute, I can't imagine him not being in the squad. So I'm all for him having another year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. Is it goal of the season, or are the George Abbott ones just too much better?
I mean, for me, that Abbott one straight from the corner was ridiculous.
See, I prefer the Abbott one against Cheltenham. You know, he cuts through the ball. It's unreal.
Do you know, like the thinking that's gone into that the one from the corner? I can't remember who it was against. Was it against what Accrington, was it?
The volley from the corner, Accrington, yeah.
Yeah. Just because they've worked on that, haven't they? So because he was just there in that pocket of space, and then he ran into it, it's almost as if Palmer knew he was going to be there, and then just to hit it that sweet and just top bins, it's good work from Palmer for the corner to be so perfect, and then to find that pocket and just brilliant, fantastic goal.
Yeah, Ian's put Stallard said it was very difficult to do the chip the ball in the air when the ball is rolling away from you. It was unreal. I reposted a vlog of Jill was in the blood. We've had him on the channel a few times, and you can hear one fan in the background as Didzy chips the ball, thinking it's going over. Give it a bit of a wee, going over, drops in, and everyone's just silent. Oh, and I know we can moan that we didn't absolutely put them to bed first off 3 or 4-0, and we made it a bit nervy. But I go back to this, and I don't always like to say this, but again, last season we probably would have conceded again. We probably would have, but they didn't really get a sniff after the goal. Chesterfield are 1-up apparently. That is absolutely class for Notts. I never like to advocate for a Chesterfield win, but that's not bad at all. And am I wrong? Because I haven't got the table. Am I wrong to think that would give us 2 games in hand on Doncaster? I think it does.
I'll have a look.
I think because I think are they in the cup at the weekend? If Doncaster, well, regardless of what happens in the game, I think it gives us a 2-game, 2-game, like 2 games behind them. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Wow. And how many points ahead are they?
3, as it stands.
Okay. I just want to remind people that there will be no Pavis perspective next week because on Thursday night we are actually away at Port Vale, so it's actually live on Sky there. So there'll be no Pavis perspective. I mean, I could do a Pavis perspective live from the stand during the game, but nobody wants that really. You want to watch the game. So apparently they're 2 ahead of the Georgia. The table probably hadn't updated. It probably was still there as a draw. But still, I mean, a loss would be perfect for us. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. It's just updated now. 2 ahead.
That's not bad at all, is it? Not bad at all. Richard says, do you need to feed your cat? Solely, Richard.
How much?
Don't matter. Never did let on his name. I'll tell you his name right now. Rupert.
Your cat?
Rupert.
No,
Rupert the cat.
No,
yeah, it is. Do you know what, though? Regardless of what his name is, he respects you, doesn't he?
To be honest, I'll be honest with you, right? Cats aren't really my thing, I'd never really get a cat. But Tom's cats just seems to really like me. And we just have mutual respect for each other.
He's a
Tom's house, we'll just nod at each other, thumbs up, and then pause up, and then, we'll be on our way doing whatever we're doing,
He did that to you a couple of times, didn't he? When you came in.
He does, yeah. I think he just knows. He knows a respectable person when he sees one, doesn't he?
Chris says deadline day deal for Tom's cat. Shall I tell them?
If you want.
I don't know if it's just supposed to be information that's given out. Anyway.
Jordan paid his release clause, didn't he?
Yeah, the cat has. No, Plymouth did. I'll be honest. Plymouth did put in a £750 bid.
Bargain.
Hartley, hey, you didn't really sell him. No, I haven't sold him. I don't know where he is right now. Jeremy says, no lie, my cat's also called Rupert. Only the best, really. Maybe it's the same one.
No lie. I don't believe that.
There we go. Let's talk about Morecambe then. A little bit more. Dave's very, very adamant that it won't be easy. How nice would it be for that game to be easy? Do you know, who this season have we actually had a routine win against? Name me someone we've just absolutely breezed by. And look, was that August?
Yeah.
August. I mean, you could say Bromley, but Bromley wasn't a routine win. We're 2 down after 5.
Oh, you mean this year? Sorry.
No, this whole season.
All right.
I
feel like we've made a bit of a meal of the games that we've had at home.
I mean, at Accrington recently, yeah. Sorry, that's very true. But other than that, like I'm even thinking at Meadow Lane. Yeah, people saying Grimsby and Accrington was shambolic against at Meadow Lane. But yeah, so what you think we've made quite a meal of it?
I do, yeah. I just feel like there's been so many games where we could have had we just made life difficult for ourselves. I think we just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I'm very, very I'm not concerned, but I just think. Sorry, John says Bradford. I don't think Bradford at home actually was routine. I think the scoreline looked routine.
It felt routine for a bit.
It felt routine, but I don't think. I don't necessarily think it was, because if we don't score 3 in 3 minutes, they're on an unbelievable run. So, Gaza says we only played 4 minutes against Bradford. Yeah, I mean, it felt routine, but I think I'd love to know if a team has ever conceded 3 goals in 4 minutes and come back from that, especially if they were gone from 0-0 to 3-0. That's just knocks the stuffing out of any side, doesn't it? And the second half became just a very slow and boring second half. Nothing really happened, really. But yeah, I'm not concerned, but I think Thursday against Port Vale will be a massive test. Massive test.
Yeah.
Could you imagine in a couple of weeks if we come back on this show and we've beaten Port Vale and Morecambe?
Yeah, limbs.
We'll
2 down, 16 to go.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping that beeping in the background, by the way, is your phone every time Chesterfield score, because they're about 4-0 up at this point.
My dishwasher out, unfortunately.
Your dishwasher tells the football scores? Where'd you get that from?
Yeah, it's Morse code. It just said 1-0 Chesterfield.
Did it?
Where did I get it from? John Pye Auctions.
Oh, a lovely little bit of.
Not really.
I got my dishwasher from Better Buy, actually.
Has he started doing dishwasher as well?
Refurbished.
That's absolutely class.
Don't have the football scores on though. Use a code Pavis perspective. I mean, we can't guarantee there'll be dishwashers in stock, but there could be. We'll get chatting to Kev.
What percent chance would you say that there is a dishwasher in stock?
50-50.
That's solid. That is, to be fair.
No,
so
I really.
Twice, you're saying one of those times is going to be dishwasher available, at least.
Yeah. Chris says, who loads the dishwasher in your house?
It's actually a combination. We all do it. Obviously, I've got children, so I'm trying to. They're obviously quite young, but I'm trying to get them to be, proactive. And
sometimes I knock on and load it for you, don't I?
No, you've literally never done that.
I was there about 20 minutes for. That's why we're a bit late for the show starting. I didn't really have a delivery driver.
Oh.
I was loading your crockery and your china in there.
You can't put china in a dishwasher. That's criminal.
Of course you can.
Criminal offence.
Of course you can. You know those. That's like the proper old stuff you get in museums. They say dishwasher safe underneath.
I'll tell you what was split opinion.
Go on then.
I've got one of the Ninja air fryers. Yeah. If anyone else has one of those, do they dishwash it?
Well, the whole air fryer.
Obviously not. I just mean like the trays that go into it, because my mum has one and she doesn't. But
I don't think you can do that.
You can. I
don't have one.
Some people just don't, because they're supposed to be non-stick, aren't they?
Yeah. Anyway.
Absolutely episode this.
Less of that. Callum
How
said,
non-stick are your frying pans, Tom?
I don't have frying pans. I just have an open fire in the back garden. Callum says, if we go up, would you take on Mando Dobra from Chesterfield? No.
I don't even know that.
That bloke that rolls around did it in the playoff final that time.
Oh yeah, he scored that winning goal against us, didn't he, in the playoff final?
Yeah, win.
No, he didn't. No, sorry, he didn't.
Oh, he did. I thought he won it. Anyway, right. Let's go on to our team. But a lot of people, to be fair, Dave was talking at the time. I didn't want to interrupt him with something as silly as an anagram. But chain smack is Adam Chickson. So well done. I can't remember who got it first, but yeah, it's very, very good. Very, very good. Well done. Right, let's go on to our team, George.
Yeah.
I think obviously keep the same formation.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stay with the same back three. I think.
Who's in goal? Luke Pilling.
Luke Pilling. Bartosz Belkowski.
So what were you saying? Bedeau, McDonald, and Platt in the back.
Yeah. And then I'm also going to say or suggest. No, I'm not. I'm not going to do that. I was going to say Rob. I thought Rob McDonald was actually okay. I was a bit disappointed with the goal we conceded. I think genuinely Bash should have come out and claimed it. He seems to claim everything else. The one time he doesn't, he lets the ball squirm with him anyway. I'm not going to start him, but I am glad. I'm glad we're seeing Kellen Gordon minutes.
Yeah, I mean, after I can't remember who it was against, but he had a bit of a cameo, didn't he? Where he just didn't look really that bothered, but I must have got the wrong end of the stick because the times he has come on and he's been getting minutes, he's looked quite good. Definitely looks like that desire's there that I felt was lacking in that particular game. So yeah, I mean, look, if we've got these options on the bench and we can bring them on, or if they're fighting for a position, it's only good for us in the position that we are in the league,
Yeah, and also it makes our squad depth so much better.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm gonna go with Jody and Nick Cerula. I think that's our strongest pairing of wing backs anyway.
Defo. Good to see him
midfield.
Yeah,
midfield 2 picks self comfortably. Palmer and Abbott, and then I think you go. Do you keep? Well, you go Didzy and Jatta, but do you keep Whittaker in there? I don't see a reason not to. At home against Morecambe.
Yeah, I'd put Whittaker in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I'll go for that. Right. Just our poll question, George. What do people think? Do people think Whittaker is an adequate Crowley replacement?
Close one this time. It's split the voters. So there's 127 votes, which it's okay. But there's more viewers than that at the minute, so I'm a bit disappointed in the ones that didn't vote. But I'll move on from that. 52% say yes. 48% say no. What do you think, Tom?
Yes.
I vote no.
Really?
Mm.
You think it's just a completely different player and not do it? But I think he was brought in as that replacement. It was the same day transfer as well. You've got to think that was the idea.
Yeah. No, I just think they're. Initially, I didn't anyway. Maybe I could be proven wrong, but I just feel like the profiles are a bit different.
Fair enough. Richard says Traore arrived in the UK today. Could be judging by his Instagram. I haven't seen that, but yeah, that's really, really positive. Score prediction, and I very much respect what Dave said. Like I really like Dave told us earlier in the season, and it won't be easy away at Morecambe. And look, they should have won the game because the ball went over the line. Like I think Dave's very knowledgeable, but I think we're just due to absolutely batter someone at Meadow Lane. So I'm going to go 4-0 Notts, and I feel like that's a big thing to say, but I think we are going to win 4-0. I think you're going to see a couple of Didzy goals and a couple of Jatta goals. What are you going for?
I'm going to go 1-0. I think it leans towards a 1-0. If they've had so many 1-0 defeats and we've seemed to score a lot, win a lot of games 1-0 at home, I think it's going to be 1-0. I think Jody to get a goal.
Fair enough.
Do you think they'll bring Traore out?
Say again?
Do you think they'll bring Traore out to say hello?
Don't see why not.
Why not?
Yeah, could be good. Sometimes we say this is a must not lose game. I think this is a must win. I mean, if you're serious about promotion, you don't mess up here, because then that means you have to go to Port Vale and win. Whereas if we win on Saturday, I think you can go to Port Vale and draw if you want to keep, especially if Chesterfield do take points off Doncaster tonight. 100%. Right, let's see what people are saying before we finish. We've got, let's see what we've got. We've got a 3-0 Jatta hat-trick. We've got a 6-2 here. Chickson hat-trick, Jatta hat-trick. Chickson's, is he out on loan still? We've got 4-0. We've got 2-1. We've got 3-0 from channel member Martin. We've got a 6-0 Morlin, says Gazard. Love that. Real goal difference wonders. We've got a 2-1. We've got a 6-0. What else have we got? 3-0 to us. Nicky, channel member, says 3-1. Hartley Hare says, seriously, 3 defeats were like that. Please don't. 3-0, and I'm going to put up this last one, which is a 3-1 Didsy hat-trick. Whew. Really enjoyed tonight's episode. Dave gave us a very good account of Morecambe. Let's see how right he is on Saturday. Will they be tough to beat? We know they've got Andy Dallas, so it's always going to be a tricky game. One that we must win. Safe travels if you are going to the game. Let's all keep an eye on the Chesterfield-Doncaster game. As we finish this, Chesterfield are currently 1-0 up, I think. So that's good for Notts. And no Pavis perspective next week, as there will be an It's All Black and White episode for the trip to Port Vale. Enjoy and safe travels if you are going there. Tony says, how do you become a channel member? I think that's supposed to say. It should be on the channel. It always appears in different positions, doesn't it, George? But if you've got a mobile device and go on it, it will say it there to do. Lots of people saying good chat. Ian says, love the podcast and the vlogs. Thank you very much. Tony, have a look. If not, we will try and sort you out a few messages on social media. And please do drop that subscribe. We are nearly at 4,100.